right, Outlaw Radio Live fans, we are live on the air with Detroit, Michigan's own, calling in straight out of the 313. You already know, 8 Mile, Detroit, Dogmatic.
What up, Doe? What up, Doe? What's going on, world? What's up, DJ Immortal? What's poppin'?
Hey, not much, man. I've been looking forward to this interview, man. I grew up on your music. Like I was telling you before we got on the air, man. You know, every 90s kid listened to Promatic, D12, Eminem, so this is an honor for me, man. I'm most definitely looking forward to this interview.
That's what's up, man. Hey, I appreciate it, man. And everybody that, that grew up listening to me and Proof and, Eminem and D12, and that's when we first hit the scene in the mid-90s, hey, I appreciate y'all, man. Listen to my music over the time, and I appreciate y'all listening to me tonight, man. So we're going to get into a little bit of what's going on with me now, and we'll talk about a little bit what was going on back then, and, everybody just enjoy it, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, most definitely. To kick this off, I have to ask you, Doug, what made you decide to get into the music industry?
Oh man, I coming up as a little kid, man, like in the mid '90s, I grew up listening to the LL Cool J's and the and the Rakims and all of that, and that's when hip hop really hit me, man. So it was really like when I heard that LL joint, that I'm Bad, man, that I was into hip hop, but that particular record is really what set me forth to, like, I'm gonna do this shit. I'm finna get on this mic, So it was really LL and that I'm Bad, and on that whole little crew back then, Run DMC and all of that. That's what really got my heart hooked on hip hop, man.
Oh man, those are some old school cats for sure, some old school legends, man. So most definitely, I can see why you got into hip hop, man.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. I mean, the beats and the rhymes and how it was back then, the breaking and, it was a new thing and hip-hop was what was really, it was like, it's hot now, but back then when it was new to everybody, those types of days, you would just die to just be able to relive that, man. It was incredible.
And the album you did, I call it the album that started it all. It was K-Stone 313. I have to ask, man, how did that iconic record come to be for yourself?
Oh, man, the 313 album, man. Okay, I'm going to tell you, like, I've told this story before, but I don't know if you'll probably be the first cat to really get this story out. I told this story for Decipher. It really didn't get out when we did recently we did the Decipher Museum at the Detroit Institute of Art, where they they honored me for being the first to come up with the to coin the phrase 313. But how that story happened is I was on Ichiban Records at the time, and this was like '93, and it was my first record deal. I was a kid, I think 16. MC Breed was also on that label. He had I think it was 20 Below or something like that. And I did a lot of recording in Atlanta, and I was always in Atlanta with this label working on this album. And so every time I would call back home, I was like, you got to dial 313, and I would, I'd be at the label or I'd be at the studio and patching me through. You got to dial 313, 313, And so when I was working on the album, I was like, man, 313, okay, that's Detroit. And my first album was called 601, so I wanted to try to keep it with the numbers. So I was like, yeah, 313 means Detroit, and I'm thinking this way back in '93, So I said, I'm going to name that the album. I'm going to call it 313. And so everybody thought it was horrible. They said, why would you call your album 313? What is 313? Nobody really got it. But when it dropped and it did well, then next thing you know, you got Biggie coming out. He's saying your 313s, all that, right? And so it made it even bigger. And so everybody in the city started to, realize, oh, 313 is Detroit. And they were, it became Pride. And everybody started using it. And it just took off. And then somewhere in there, they kind of forgot who came up with it. But then, after the 8 Mile movie and all that, when and decided to use it. And they did their research and they realized that, damn, this guy really was the first. And so, you know, I didn't have to plead my case anymore. It was like, okay, yeah, you know, there's no other project, period, that said 313 before K-Stone. So.
Hey, you know what I gotta say, listeners? That's most definitely some hip hop history right here. We got the man that created the saying 313, and I'm not gonna lie to you. Every time I hear that, when you brought up the 8 Mile movie, that's what comes to my head whenever Eminem's like, everybody from the 313, put your motherfucking hands up and follow me. That's what I hear every time I hear that, truthfully. It's an iconic saying, man. So it's pretty. I did not know that you actually created that saying, man. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Actually, I actually did. And so, you know, they used it for the movie, and you know, and that was pretty cool. You know, and it's just a good thing that Jimmy Reiser from Decipher was able to give me an honor for that as well. So I appreciate that, man. So. Yep, it was me. It was me, man.
Yo, that's lit, man. That's lit. And speaking of another person that's you, man, you formed Promatic with Proof in 2002. I have to ask, man, how did you and Proof meet? How did that iconic duo come to be?
Oh man, me and Proof met, back in the mid '90s. You know, on the hip hop scene. You know, I met him actually through a rapper named B Def, a Detroit legend. He's passed away now. But he was a Detroit hip hop legend, you know, a lyrical beast. And everybody would come to B Def's house and do freestyles because he was like the dopest, like off of 6 Mile. So, you know, Proof would come by and freestyle. And that's where I met him at B Def's, house on 6 Mile freestyling off of 6 Mile. So that's how we got cool. And that happened like back in the day, like 90, 91, 92, when we were kids. So we met back then freestyling. And so Proof started building his name as a freestyler at the hip hop shop, and you know I was doing my thing. I got signed, and I was on the road with MC Breed, and so we were always friends. And then we actually, the first Promatic record you'll probably hear was done way back in probably like 1991. We did a record for Chantaniques, and you can look all this up. Anybody that's listening. We did this record called Silence the Violence at Chantaniques, and it had like all the rappers in Detroit on it. Me and Proof kicked it open. I rapped first, he rapped second. That was the first time we rapped back to back in '91, and it was not, we wouldn't, there was no Eminem, no D12, none of that was going on, And so that was like the first time me and Proof actually recorded together. And then after some time went by, and everybody grinding, like in '96 or '97, I think Eminem got signed, and they ended up on the Chronic tour somewhere around '98, '99, and I'm like, damn, look at Proof taking off, and I was doing my thing myself. But when he came home off tour and I came back to Detroit, he gave me some passes to the concert, and then we hooked up after the concert, and he came to my crib. We ended up doing, we talked about O's and Times. We ended up doing some records. And the first record out the gate that we just did fucking around was to Tear This Bitch Up. And that record was so hot, we was like, damn, we ought to do another one. And then we did another record. And I can't recall the order, but before we knew it, we had like half an album done. And so we just kept going, man. And then we decided, hey, man, we're going to make an album out of this thing. But ironically, he was working on the D12, like, simultaneously. The first D12 album, he was working with me, so it could have been a toss-up, He could have been Promatic first, but it just ended up being D12 first. But, yeah, man, we just started out reminiscing and fucking around as not seeing each other, and we ended up, making a record, and it was so hot, we kept going, and that's how it ended up coming about. And so we just took half our names and put it together after the project was done, and then there you had it. It was Promatic. It was, Proof, Dogmatic. And, hey, man, the rest is history, man. We took it around, got a deal, and the rest is history, man.
also have to ask, in the same year, 2002, Promatic, yourself, and Proof dropped the self-titled album. Dropped their self-titled album. What's the inspiration behind that record, and how did that iconic record come to be?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all good. Sorry about that. So, your self-titled Promatic album dropped in 2002. What's the inspiration behind that album?
Oh man, that whole thing was we just wanted to display lyrics and fun, and like I said, once we kept all the records that we collected, that we recorded, we started recording that stuff, man, and like 2000, 2001, 2002, we did a lot of stuff, and then we collected all those records, and we decided that this shit need to be heard, man. So we went ahead and went forth with it, and we just said we coming with it. So that's why it was with D12, he was doing the D12 thing and the Promatic thing. It was kind of like happening simultaneously. We were kind of pulling the man apart, poor Proof. He was kind of pulling him apart, but he was going from D12 to Promatic. But it was something that we wanted the world to hear because it was so fucking dope. We just didn't want to keep the records for ourselves. It was like, fuck this, man. This gotta come out. So.
And also, Promatic was part of Eminem's anger management tour in the summer of 2002. I have to ask, what was it like touring with Eminem, and how did all that come to be? And what cities did you all hit up?
Oh man, that was the U.S. Portion of the tour. We hit everywhere, man. You name it, man. We started out in, I think it was Chicago, Indiana. We started going around that route, St. Louis. We went everywhere, man. And that came about because, like I said, it was the Promatic project was being worked on simultaneously. The D12 just dropped and had a way bigger budget, and so being that we all were friends at the time, they said, hey man, look, Proof, he can't be here and there, he can't be two places, so why don't we just go ahead and let Matic tag along? He could promote both projects in one, and that's how that came about. So all of our labels got together and decided that we would do that. So that's how it ended up on the tour, and it was a lot of fun, man. It was just fun, traveling, rocking the stage, every night, and it was a great experience, man. And I appreciate DJ Green Leonard letting us be like one of the first groups on his first mixtape. We actually was on his first two mixtapes, and everybody that started out at that time, we all became, prominent in the game. So I'm just proud to be have been a part of that history, man. So that's how it all happened, man. It was a great time.
And that's crazy, though. Well, what is Eminem like as a person? Like, is he a nice guy? Is he mean? Like,
I didn't spend a lot of time with him, but he's a cool guy as far as when we did spend time together. But of course, he was the head of the tour, very busy doing his thing, but there were times we were chilling, took time out to celebrate birthdays and had good times and stuff like that. Always a cool guy. Just, he's Marshall. He's cool. I've been knowing him for a long time as well, but they have their thing that they're doing, and I was over here. It was like two different kind of entities going on, but everybody was always cool, and everybody was always clicked up. So yeah, it was cool.
And this is the last question that I have regarding your Promatic days. You and Proof were also on Hip Hop Empire's first ever magazine cover. I have to ask, how does it feel knowing you guys are the first individuals on that magazine?
Hey man, that was gangster, man, and I appreciated it. You don't get a lot of covers, so when we got the cover for that, it was an honor. I felt good. I feel like we deserved it. You know what I mean? People need to see me improve more. And even though he's passed away, they need to see that history needs to be told more. So, and that's another thing I'm going to get into. There will be a Promatic documentary that we're working on right now that we're in the works with Boudang. So shout out to Boudang. We're working on a documentary. It's gonna tell the whole Promatic story. So there's a lot of stuff that I can't tell you today, but that's definitely gonna be on the documentary. So we plan to have that out by the summer. So you guys are gonna be seeing a trailer drop soon. You know, we have great footage of me and Proof of Promatic on stage. We got great footage of a lot of artists that are more prominent now. Back when we started. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch, and it's going to be very informative if you're a hip-hop head and you want to know how me and Proof did it, and you want to see some of the footage, the actual footage. It's going to be, the DVD is going to be bananas, man. So be on the lookout for that, too.
So, around 2013, you dropped the 8 Mile Chronicles mixtape with many other legendary Detroit artists like Obi Trice, Royce the 5'9", Supa MC, and many more. I have to ask, how did that crazy, iconic record come to be?
Well, that was the 8 Mile Chronicles was going on at a time. We were in between albums with the Promatic, and so they were, Proof was off doing some stuff with D12, so I had to keep busy and keep my thing rocking. So I said, I'm going to go ahead and do this 8 Mile Chronicles. And so what I did was I just jumped around the city and got verses from dudes that I fuck with, and it was real cool to get to work with all those guys, Obi and Royce, all those guys recorded at my basement and started out, on Kilborn, and everybody that's in the hip hop from Detroit know exactly what I'm talking about, and all of them been over there to my studio to Signals. And that's where we did a lot of that stuff at, and I got a lot of verses from the different hot artists around the city, and that's how that came to be. So I just wanted to drop something solo, just for, especially for, just to let people know that, I'm still rocking mics, even though me and Proof are in between what we're doing, I'm still doing what I'm doing. So it was just a project just to, to keep my fans fed at the same time and do something dope, with other artists that was in the city that's, besides Proof and, people that they're used to hearing me with. I wanted to reach out and do something a little different that time, and it was dope. So yeah, that was really dope.
So also last year you dropped another mixtape called the Dogmatic rap music mixtape. What was the inspiration behind that, and where can our listeners actually download a copy?
Well, actually, the rap music CD actually never got released. Actually, that title and that album got revamped, and it actually became 313,000. So you might catch one song out there with that title behind it, but that album never got a chance to actually get released. I ended up changing lanes, and we revamped that, and it became the 313,000 album.
Okay, but I think that's where I actually seen it. Was one of the songs actually had that cover on it, so I figured that's the name of the mixtape.
Yeah. That's what I said. You might find one out there with that cover, but that actually got revamped. So that's pretty rare to have that if you got it. So, yeah, but yeah, that was 313,000. That actually the title got changed, and we switched some songs around and it ended up becoming another project.
So also, November 30th of 2019, you dropped your most recent album called The Book of Matic. Can you tell us a bit more about that record, and where can our listeners buy it or stream it? And also, do you have hard copies available for our old school listeners?
Yeah, The Book of Matic, man. Now, that's my new project. Actually just released maybe 2 months ago, and the promotion for it is actually getting ready to start up and heat up. You're going to be seeing more things, videos and stuff about it. Actually, the single from The Book of Matic is called They. I think you may have that record. It's very new. There's a video to it. It's hot, and my music has matured with me a little bit. I'm not so much killing everybody like I used to, like on the verbal tip like that, but it's more knowledgeable and very lyrical and very enjoyable, and it's hip hop. You know, it's like it's still dogmatic, but it's just the new year. It's still the same make and model, but just the new year. And that's that's how you got to really look at it. It's really got a whole theme to it, and you just have to listen to the whole thing from beginning to end. It's a really hot ass project, so you're gonna be seeing and hearing more about it. So it's called the Dogmatic, and the first single is Day, and you can actually stream it right now on Tidal if you got Tidal. You can stream it on iHeart if you got that. It's also streaming on Apple Music. So mostly on all the online outlets you can find it. If you want to get a download and purchase it, you can actually go to iTunes or CD Baby, and so it's on all the online outlets you can get it.
Yeah, sounds great. So everybody that's listening, make sure you stream it or get yourself a copy. Dogmatic, I have to ask, man, what is next for you? Is there anything else you want to let our listeners know? Any new projects, concerts that you want to let our listeners know about while we still have you here?
Well, what's next for me, man, is we're getting ready to go full 200% on this Dogmatic Book-O-Matic. You're gonna be seeing me doing shows. I'm gonna be all around Detroit. I'm actually gonna be hitting the UK, and that's really gonna be big for this summer. So you'll be looking for me over there. And so right now, it's all music for me right now, and of course the documentary that's coming this summer, the Promatic documentary. So be on the lookout for that. So there's big things happening, man. And I'm also I'm actually writing a book right now. So yeah, man, it's to tell a lot of story that happens to MCs in Detroit. It's not just going to be about me. The book is going to be about Detroit hip hop and how it all popped off and how we got to where it is today. So I got that coming as well, man. So everybody just be on the lookout, man. Dogmatic is moving 100 miles an hour, man. So get that Book-O-Matic. The new single is Day. It's fire. You're gonna be hearing that everywhere. So check it out, and check out the video today. There's also a video. You can check it out. You can just go to my YouTube and check it out, Dogmatic 313. And or you can go to Boudang video shop page and check out the video. And shout out to Boudang, shout out to Styles, my management, shout out to Ty in Detroit, Styles in Philly. We making it happen, man. So that's what's popping now, man. Big things popping, man.
So this is the time in the interview, Doug, that I give the chance for the individuals that come on the show a chance to give shout-outs. I know you already gave some shout-outs. If you have any more, you can do that. And also your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and check you out and follow you if they're not already doing so.
Okay, for sure, man. I mean, I just want to send love out to all everybody in Detroit that's doing their thing, man. All of my fans and my family, everybody, man. I just want to say what up, though, to all the rappers in the city that I fuck with. Shane, my girl Kenisa is out there doing her thing. Of course, KB, Kevin Bailey, man, my flesh and blood, he's out there killing them right now. So y'all Google him. His shit is 2050, Kevin Bailey. And of course, check out Proof Son, man. Aside, he's out there doing his thing, man. And he just got signed to Def Jam. Really, really proud of him. So, man, everybody's doing great, man. And like I said, man, check out the new shit, man. If you like the old shit, man, check out this new shit. This Book-O-Matic, man. You will not be disappointed. Go live stream it. Go check it out on Tidal. Check it out on Pandora. It's everywhere. And check the video out. For sure.
Hey, man, most definitely, Doug. I want to say thank you so much for coming up on Outlaw Radio Live, man. It was such an honor and a privilege just to be able to talk to someone that I grew up listening to, man. So thank you so much for many, many years of great music. I'm looking forward to more projects, hearing some more of your work. Good luck on your tour in the UK as well, man. Safe travels, and hopefully one day we get to cross our paths and we can do this again.
Oh, for sure, man. I appreciate you having me on the show, man. Shout out to you, man, DJ Immortal, man. I appreciate you, taking the time out to recognize the legend, man. That's much love to you, man, and I'll come back to the show, man. Just let me know anytime, bro.
All right, that sounds like one hell of a great plan. Thank you so much, dog. You have yourself a wonderful night, man. God bless.
All right, man. Peace out, man. Peace to everybody, man. Go get that new album, Dogmatic.
Most definitely. Get that album, guys. Don't front.